Day 87. I'm 87 years old, just a few miles from the Gulf of Mexico. That's 87 days of roughing it on the water, 87 days of mosquitoes, heat and rain.
Sea salt, get your electrolytes today.
Sea salt. 87 days of generosity from strangers, 87 days of highs and lows. That's 87 days of adventure. I've been competitive all my life. And when I got my first Guinness World Record book in the 50s, that really inspired me to get out and try things myself. Because I believe records were made to be broken. Officially, Lake Itasca is the source for the Mississippi River. Very shallow, very narrow. You can jump across it in a few places. The first time I paddled the Mississippi River, I was 80 years old. I set the age record until it was broken by Stan Stark. Stan, I'm coming for you, and I'm gonna get that record back.
Happy birthday, dear Taylor. Happy birthday to you.
Guinness requires that we time it with a stopwatch. 3, 2, 1, 0. Woohoo! Woohoo! Woo! We are going way back. You mean 1935? That year was the beginning of the end of the Great Depression. My mom and dad managed to get married, though, and they managed to buy a farm. Can you believe that? 83-acre farm in Lake Skillet, Kentucky for $1,800. But anyway, what else happened on 1935 was I was born on June the 14th. Woo, woo! And then 5 years later, my sister Elaine was born. And then Judy was born when I was ready to join the Navy in 1958. She was born just before that. My mother, I remember her most of all as a good Christian lady, but wonderful cook. My dad, I loved that man. My dad was a tobacco farmer, but I think he would prefer to be remembered as a fisherman. He taught me so much in the wild and on the river. Dad was my idol. He was really very instrumental in me forming my personality that I have today. I did not like it when he put me in the tobacco fields, though. I did not like it when he would have me go into the tobacco barn and fire the tobacco. I was allergic to the smoke, and it hurt me so bad I could not tell. I mean, I was really in pain, but my dad thought I was just, making it up so I didn't have to go in and work.
Well, my father was a very quiet, unassuming person, and so he could live his life out without talking to anybody. My mother was a very outgoing person, very bright. So Dale does not take after my father. He takes after my mother, who was a go-getter.
But when I wasn't working in the fields, I was down in the woods or in the creek, fishing, swimming, noodling, hunting, get rabbits for dinner and squirrels for dinner. Otherwise, I'd go hungry.
You didn't have TV or anything like that. Your entertainment was outdoors. It's a fabulous creek. I mean, it was great fun. We used to have grapevines that swing out over the creek. You drop in the creek. It was great entertainment. Now, Dale, of course, he used to climb everything. He did like to get attention.
When I got in high school, I started getting pretty good in acrobats, so I got a team. 3 of us got together and we started doing all these tumbling routines and hand balancing routines. We got pretty good at it. They would send us to other high schools in the county performing. Matter of fact, when I graduated from high school, I joined a circus for a while. I hated that life. I left.
There's no way that he would have wanted to stay on the farm. I mean, you know, he was an adventurous soul from the beginning. Not much to hold somebody who has an interest beyond farming.
I just couldn't wait to get off of that farm. What I did when I graduated from high school, I told my parents I'm hitchhiking to California. And with $35 and a little rustic suitcase, I took off to California, hitchhiking. Come on. Oh, yeah, I'm coming through. Thank you. Man, I tell you, and if it hadn't been for you there, I was going over. But you grabbed right here and saved the boat.
I didn't. I went over.
Yeah. You went over? Did you get film on it? No. It's supposed to be cleared by 14 June when we started paddling, but we still had to cut our way through several places. So I saw the one below while you saw the one above. All in all, it was a good day, and I was sitting here in the campground just about ready to go to bed here in a few minutes because, you know, a paddler's midnight is sundown. So, signing off for the first day. At my age, paddling the Mississippi River, 87 years old, trying to do it in 87 days, I didn't need any more liabilities. That was one of the reasons I wanted people that were paddling with me that had paddled the river before, because that's an asset. Matt Briggs said that he wanted to paddle with me. He has paddled the river before himself, and he also been a sport crew for me on 3 different trails.
It's 4 years ago, almost to the day, when I paddled the river the first time. I met Dale at the boat ramp when I paddled in and started what's been a long and fruitful friendship. 3,500-mile adventure buddies at this point.
Matt being a vet, an Army sergeant, he fought in Iraq. Turns out that he would volunteer to take on some of the coordinating jobs like daily briefing and planning on river management. Basically, I just gave him some broad brush directions and says, get me to the Gulf on time, 8 September. He's going to do that.
This is Meadow, going to be the first Pomeranian to travel the entire length of the Mississippi River from source to sea. And she's been my co-pilot and my navigator and our camp guard at night to keep all the critters away, and our morale booster. She can sense when somebody's not having a good day, and she'll run over and give you licks and loving and lift your spirits right up.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is Dan Faust, and I would call him my Guinness witness. And he took care of a lot of the social media. It was really fun having Dan on board. His personality was just very positive.
I met Dale last year on my Source to Sea trip. Dale's kind of one of my heroes, and I just couldn't believe I was actually there and meeting him. And I just kept hounding him until he finally relented and let me join the group.
And as far as ground support, Marv was an expert at ground support.
I got nothing.
The smartest decision I made was surround myself with experts. hair combed and get my hearing aids back in. Okay, let's go. I got Silky. Yesterday afternoon, late in the afternoon, I started to feel a little pain in my right shoulder, so I switched over to the single blade paddle to give it a rest. I've had trouble with that shoulder since I was a teenager. I pulled it out of joint while I was wrestling a bear in a circus. Darn bear. They had a muzzle on him, but I pulled the muzzle off accidentally. I got him around the neck right here, pulled the muzzle off. The bear didn't bite me. I guess I'm lucky. Barry.
Dale. Hello.
Thank you so much. We might be spending the night here camping on his property, and that is fantastic.
We're taking off from Barry Lyons here this morning. Got about 3 miles and some change until we get to the big lake here. Unless anybody's got any questions, we'll roll out.
I'm swinging! Hey! I'm swinging like Tarzan! Hey! We're in not a river environment anymore, but we find ourselves in big lakes that we have to paddle through and across. And these big lakes and the wind's blowing, the waves become sometimes unmanageable. So you have to plan your crossings with the wind. I'm not getting fresh or anything like that. I just want you to look, see if you see anything black in my beard. He was right under the chin bone right there. That's where he was. I felt him down a little ways, but then he disappeared.
Oh, there he is.
You got him? Let me see that booger. He hasn't been there very long. You got a tick on your neck, too.
Oh, grab him. Oh, yeah.
I saw that back at the bridge on her, but I thought it was a mole. Moles don't have legs.
Yeah, they don't walk around.
Half a mile to the takeout.
Oh, wow! Woo.
You're almost there.
Every day that I arrive at a new port,
There we go.
I need to get signatures and data in this book. It's required by Guinness. These signatures in this book, several at each port, will help me prove it.
Lake Bemidji is in the shape of a footprint, actually a boot print. Paul Bunyan, the lumberjack's boot print. And all the other little lakes around Lake Bemidji were made by the hoof prints of Babe, his blue ox. You each get a pin, well, for Bemidji, first city on the Mississippi River, and may you get one from your fellow people at the other end of the river, but I don't know if they will. Anyway, ours is better. So,
Can you hand him up?
okay.
Radio check.
Loud and clear. Cast, it shouldn't be a big deal. Hopefully the wind won't be too high. There is like an island kind of out there. If it does get dicey.
Crossing Lake Irwin was a piece of cake. Crossing Lake Bemidji was a piece of cake. Cass Lake, that's when it started getting real rough. Turn around! Back, huh? Go back to where we started. And the white caps would be breaking over the boat. We tried to get out in the contributory to Lake Cass. We couldn't even get out of this slough here we're in right now. There's no way we could survive that. Well, that was bad enough for an old man.
The wind was southeast at 18 miles an hour, gusting to 30.
Cap, are you okay?
For today and tonight, gusty southeast winds up to 35 miles per hour are possible today. A few thunderstorms are also possible this morning through midday, some of which may contain small hail in addition to lightning.
Oh, wow.
Big tree just broke.
This long river reflects light. It's born out of a small Minnesota stream. It grows and widens as my intelligence and maturity grows and widens. The unstoppable water flows over rocks and land as my life flows through time. Winnebagoshus. We call it Lake Winnie for short. Largest lake on the Mississippi River by far. One of the most feared places on the river.
There's been a lot of people over the years that went into the lake that nearly drowned, lost all their gear. So, no laughing matter.
And I can barely see the point we got to go around in the distance there. It's real eerie right now. Seems like it's calm before the storm. The swells are too big, and they're throwing sideways. Any moment we could have swamped. It was really bad. Well, all I'm saying is that, Jimmy, I don't have a stunt man out here. Out there, I got a little nervous. I was doing some praying. I've gone that way for a long way. That was fun.
Yeah!
Okay, who got seasick?
That's some of the craziest paddling I've ever done right there. Oh, she never even got excited. She didn't even know. She didn't even know what was going on.
Let me put your hand, let me see if it's shaking.
A little bit.
Woo, we did it.
It was white knuckle all the way across there. Dale said, Dan, was there ever maybe a moment or two when you didn't think you were gonna make it across Lake Winnie? I said, Dale, there were a few moments when I knew I would make it and I'd be okay, but the rest of the time, it was a big question mark.
It was rough out there. That's all I can say. It was rough. I'm hungry. Food is always a problem for me. I'm not eating good food. And I think that has a lot to do with why I'm tired. And I think age has a little bit to do with it too, just a tad bit. My morale is pretty good, but it's gonna be a lot better when I get some good food. I cannot believe this. My mouth has been for the last hour watering thinking about Colonel Sanders' fried chicken. I couldn't even keep it dry. I was thinking so much about it. Oh! Oh, you son of a gun. That is a welcome sight. I'm not tired anymore now. It is so different this morning It is so calm and so peaceful. River Angel Sandy and Jeff, she reproduced a dish that she had fixed for me, potato casserole, when I went through there in 7 years before in 2015. River Angels on this trip have been absolutely unbelievably superb.
This is the stuff that gives me the goodness here. It's meeting a man like that and carrying this.
We've had many places to sleep, not in a tent, but I mean in a bed. Because of the River Angels, we've had so many good home-cooked meals. Because of the River Angels, they brought us stuff down we needed. Because of the River Angels, the boats come up to me on the water and hand me cold water.
It's the people on a trip like this. That's what makes the whole trip.
I love hearing about the stories and meeting the people and the personalities, and I just love it. I'll do it as long as I possibly can.
That's one of the things that makes paddling so rewarding on the big rivers. Mosquitoes don't make it rewarding, though. Give you a good old Appalachian Trail handshake. Don't need me down I had an uncle that lived in Costa Mesa, California, right near Disneyland. I hitchhiked out there to his house. Well, I went over and applied at Disneyland, got a job there. I took the job because we could ride all the rides free. Then I started hanging sheetrock in the building boom. And in the mid-50s, I got tired of hanging sheetrock and hitchhiked back to Kentucky and tried working in the factory there for a while and then joined the Navy in 1958. I guess you might say that's the rest is history. That's when my life really started changing. At Camp Swab in Okinawa, I walked with the Marines as a corpsman, and they found out all my experience in aquatics. So they put me in charge of the scuba diving program for the entire island of Okinawa. So that was just absolutely wonderful. That really launched my career in parks and recreation. 47 years in parks and rec, traveling all over the world, inspecting their special services operations. I went to 52 different countries doing those inspections. Over 100 Navy bases. What do you guys think about this day?
Beautiful. Day made for paddling.
Woo! Folks, it's not this way every day. I'm not hurting anywhere. Not even my butt. We actually divide the river pretty much in 3 sections. Upper river is from Lake Itasca to Minneapolis. There's no locks on the dams. You have to portage around them. And there's about 10 of them that we have to portage around. There's the whirlpool. Well, it says boat landing closed, but this is the official portage. About the worst portage I've seen so far. Wasn't easy getting down to here. Coming through all of that stuff. Fall off before I turn over. Look, Dan's getting in safely and sound and ready to paddle. Down to the Sock Rapids. We're coming up on the first set of rapids. Sock Rapids can be a dangerous place. We just happened to hit it at a water level that wasn't so dangerous.
This is a good spot right here.
If the Mississippi River is a woman, she is a woman. Oh, miss. She's tough. I tell you right now, you better not make a mistake because she's not going to forgive you for it. Accidents on the Mississippi River are more permanent type. In other words, you're going to die. The river has a terrible reputation. Stop here to rest. My heart rate is really high because this is the only place we can find where the wind is not blowing. I started paddling short distances on the Mississippi, so I said, well, when I turn 80, I think I'm going to just paddle the river. My life was never the same after that anymore. I was never just Dale Sanders. I was from then on out Dale Greybeard Sanders. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dale Sanders here, the Greybeard official. In 2016, the oldest person to ever have completed the MR 340. It was a huge endurance race across the state of Missouri. And then in 2017, the oldest person to hike the Appalachian Trail. I was also the oldest person to hike the Florida Trail, the Pinhoti Trail, and I still hold, now this is Guinness Record, the rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. So all those things since I turned 80 that I have done really gives me the inspiration to keep going and doing more. Thank you so much again. Woo-hoo!
Read about your journey. Yeah, man.
Greybeard, yeah.
You're like the Forrest Gump of the river.
I did from Minneapolis to Gulf last year. Be able to meet up with Dale, a legendary paddler. I'm here. This is impressive.
I have no idea where you guys are. I'm here at the boat ramp now. I'm here. Well, I'm telling you, I'm where we took out last time. So where is the portage? Downriver or upriver from here? I don't know where the portage is. Now, again, my tank runs empty sometimes, and a couple, 3 times I didn't handle it very smart. If I had a file moved up my edges, I would probably give that file to my wife to let her smooth up the edges. Because I have rough edges, too.
Sorry about that, Dale.
Well, I'm sorry, too. I only knew the boat ramp. That's why I'm sorry about that.
This isn't even right on the map.
But anyway, I got it all on film, and everybody is happy, and we're here, and we're ready to do a 5-mile portage. It's going to take me a while to get it up there. There is no official portage route, by the way, to Lock and Dam. And we wheeled those boats for 5 miles. There was no way to get down to the water. We've been told there was a fence there. We figured Matt would end up climbing the fence, and we couldn't do that, so we didn't follow him.
Followed me 80% of the way, and then they all decided they didn't want to follow me. I didn't know what I was doing. And so now they're doing an extra 3+ miles.
Bon portage.
But he found a hole in the fence, and he went through it, and he got down and got over it pretty fast, actually. Finally, we just kept going.
I ain't heard you cuss yet.
I don't curse anyway. I try not to. I just left my wheels on it and pulled it, boom, one step at a time. It was brutal. It was hard. It was a bad scene. In high school, I was voted as the one most unlikely to succeed. Now, it wasn't in writing, but it was just pretty much accepted. It turns out, I ended up getting 3 college degrees. It boosted my morale as well. Military training on all levels gives me more confidence. Deep sea diver training, that gave me a lot of confidence too. I got in competition in the San Francisco Bay Area and competitive spearfishing. That gave me a lot of confidence. That launched me into the top echelon of freedivers in the whole United States. At one point, I actually held what we claimed to be the world record for underwater breath holding back in 1959 at 6 minutes and 3 seconds. 2 reasons why I went back to the San Francisco Bay Area after I got out of the Navy. One was I was engaged to a girl to get married there, and the other is in scuba diving competitive programs there that I had an opportunity to excel in. Most of the local tournaments I would win, more fish than anybody else. Even the national championship, I was on the team won the national championship. And that same year, I won the one and only athlete of the year for the United States in spearfishing. I finally had to quit spearfishing, but my wife just got so tired of me bringing trophies home. Every time I come home with a trophy, she would get berserk mad. Her reason was just something else, the dust. I retired to keep her, but I held it against her. It didn't work. It just made it worse. This is the primary reason that I went to the Philippines, to get away from the diving crowd in the California area. I think getting a divorce was probably a character building experience because I don't want to do it again. Both sides of that hurt. It's not a clean thing to do. And for the next 20 years after I retired from spearfishing, I dreamed about spearing fish almost every single night of my life. Snorkeling down, holding my breath, going in under the rocks and spearing a big lingcod and pulling them out and then swimming to the surface. I love spearfishing. Come on, guys! We see you! I've never done a portage like that before.
Portage from hell. Definitely.
One of those days that makes this an adventure. Ah, cheeseburgers! Woo-hoo! Haven't had any food all day. The good thing about today is this was our last portage. I can put the wheels now in Marv's truck and I don't have to take them out. 7 hours old is still good. Our first bird! St. Paul, Minnesota. And in the second section, we talk about as paddlers are from Minneapolis to Cairo, Illinois. Very different from the other.
Every lock and dam controls the water level.
I think there's 26 of those locks, if I'm not mistaken. A lock is where you paddle into this big iron box that's big enough for ships to get in. They close the doors above, they let the water out, and then they open the doors below, and you paddle out. We are here now. Woo, woo. That's our first lock. And believe me, it was fun. Oh my gracious alive. Hi. Yeah. Oh. With Dan came his wife, Carol. I would go so far as to say she was a team member. Her support on land and meeting us with food and bringing me ever so often caramel frappe. Oh, thank you, Carol. Almost makes you cry.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's so good. I like food with my ketchup.
So I started as a river angel in 2019. I actually hosted Stan Stark here. He had his 81st birthday at my place here. So Stan holds the record now, and Dale's going to break that. And I guess it's a privilege for me to say that I was able to host them both here, and I wish them both luck.
The big river is really where my heart is. I love the big river. I love the power of it. I love the terror of it. It opened a door of like adventure. I love the mystery of it all too.
You get into a different rhythm. You get on river time. Slow down and you start to notice things a little bit more. Just being here right now. It's a simple thing, but it changes everything, changes your whole perspective.
It's like I have a relationship and I feel like I'm just a part of that whole system. I feel like it's accepted me, you know. I trust the river to take good care of me.
The further along I get, the busier it becomes. The occupants become more demanding and require more and more of my attention. The stops along the way will be colorful, diverse, and full of opportunities to grow, but also full of dangers. Recreational boats can be very dangerous. They often go really close to us, but waves are a real serious threat. I had my boat breached by waves.
Yeah, I mean, it should be self-evident that this is a no-wake zone.
I'm gonna walk up there and see if that pie place is open. That's why I'm a couple miles ahead of the others at pie. Woo! Pie is on me for everybody, animals, or whatever you want. That pie was the world's best pie. I like that Alamo too.
So to get a picture of you by my car, would that be okay?
What kind of car you got?
This is an old junker.
This baby is stock Blaze 454 LS6. Now, we wish this man well in his trip down to the Gulf Port. For in his life, his adventure of 87 years will bring him down there in 87 days. Safe and full of memories to share for a lifetime of inspiration and hope.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You guys
We
ran
love
into
you.
The largest natural lake on the Mississippi River, Lake Pepin. It's so large and so long that it even has its own special monster, the Pepin monster. I saw it, Pepin monster. Whoa, scared me. 10:30, 11 o'clock to the boat, a head came up. It didn't just come up above the surface, but it went on up into the air, 6 or 8 feet. Even right now, you can't see it. Every hair on my body is standing on the ends. That's the scariest I was in my entire life. I thought for sure it was a Pepin monster and I was gonna get eaten up. But you know what it was? The water was high and it had washed a bunch of trees, one end of the trunk, hit the mud, and the water was flowing so fast, it raised it up like this and then dropped it back down. What a fear that was. Lake Pepin was very hard on us. I guess that legendary Pepin monster had swum around and got that lake all really agitated. Wind was 8 miles an hour when we came out. Now it's 10 miles per hour. And then it jumps up to 12, then it jumps up to 13, then it jumps up to 18.
It's your call. That's the reason I pushed on yesterday.
If you're making any progress at all, though, just do it.
All right.
We'll make it down there fine. I was very, very small Family was poor. We didn't have good clothes. I had bad shoes and bad clothing. In the 40s and early 50s, if you were a little person in the class, you were going to be bullied. I was bullied a lot when I was in middle school. I failed the 6th grade, for instance, and then back in those days, if you failed a grade, you got bullied a lot. Nobody cared. The principal wouldn't just laugh. And the teacher, she took me to the principal. Well, it just happened to be that earlier that day, somebody had cut big chunks out of banisters. For weeks, he would whip me every day trying to get me to admit that I did that. And I wasn't going to admit to something I didn't do. It made me feel depressed and inferior. And it wasn't until I got in high school that the bullying stopped. Well, bullying stopped about the same time that I got good in hand balancing and tumbling. I think in my mind, I equated that with doing something of quality, actually stopped the bullying. And everything I've done, even the spearfishing, was helping me get over those hurdles of not feeling worthy and not feeling capable. I think even now, after I retired, and instead of just sitting down and enjoying life, I think that's why I'm out here trying to prove I can do things. Yes, a storm's gonna come up. Yep. Let's go back. Paddling hard, I was just sitting in one spot. We went out there and gave it a good old college try. I was mad at the world for being bullied. I think I was meaner because of it.
He used to be a teaser, no doubt about that. I don't remember ever thinking that he was a great brother.
This will be the second time we've exited from here to try to get around that point. My mother, she was a disciplinary one. There's no question about it. She whipped me so many times to the point to where she'd bring blood. I was pretty mean here and there too. So I deserved it, I'm sure. But I remember the whippings. I don't never forget those. We are, for all practical purposes, out of Pepin now, and we got it finished. It was pretty rough coming across there. The good thing is we got through without being eaten by the Pepin monster. The biggest thing that concerns me the rest of the trip is heat. When we start getting down around Memphis into August, we're going to have days when the temperature heat index is going to be well over 100.
It's stifling and it saps your energy. At least 2 people that we know of this year, they've had to quit their trip because they were overcome by heat. And Dale experienced some of that on his first trip. Richard got overheated. He had to get off the river.
And I told the doctor, I said, well, I don't know where I'm going to be. What's the worst that's going to happen? And he said, well, you'll probably die. It really, it'll separate the men from the boys. I'll tell you that much.
Waiting on him. Never did come around the corner, and I'm like, what's the deal? And he's like, y'all go ahead. I haven't been urinating enough. I need to drink water and sit in the shade for a little bit.
Where is Dale? Did Dale fall? Did he break his neck? Did he have a heart attack? Did he have a stroke?
He always has some reason why he was running a little bit late.
I let the other two paddlers go on ahead and I get some rest in the middle of the hot day.
Heat's gonna be brutal, 98, 99 degree heat index today.
So head down to Lansing. From that, you can surmise that that is Iowa. So that means we are done with Minnesota today. Small victories, gentlemen, small victories.
Anything you want to say, Maier?
No, another morning.
Any day on the river is better than any day at work.
That was a high pucker factor there.
It was a great day paddling today, just a great day. The wind came up so much, I could not make progress at all.
I'm calling done. I'm not going any further. I'm not trying anymore.
He slept on the shore, and I got permission to sleep on the deck of the pontoon boat. In a way, this is a sad day. Marv is going to be leaving us. Todd's with us now. Marv is going to say goodbye this morning.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
It's been fun.
It has been a blessing having you. He had been there 6 weeks, and that's what he said he would do. And so the ground support was extremely important that Marv gave us.
And then we had the transition to Todd, to T-Man.
Somebody was helping him for the first month. And then I said, well, who's helping you after that? And that was me. That's who's helping him after that.
Well, we're getting ready for a 36-foot drop here. That's what the guys say.
38 million gallons of water, he said, in here.
We're just about ready to reach the bottom, I think. We've been up there.
Yeah, look at the door.
Way up there is where we started. We got a new person been paddling with us here. His name is Matt also. We'll see what Matt has to say.
Been an awesome adventure.
So I came to the Mississippi River through Warrior Expeditions. They do a bunch of different expeditions as a form of PTSD therapy. They're a month and a half into it. We decided to go our own separate ways. I was kind of left to my own device. I could either go at it myself, or I think with the three most knowledgeable guys on the river, I learned from them. I feel like I hit the lottery twice this year. Once getting selected for a Warrior Expedition, then once for falling on Dale's crew. I can't ask for anything more.
July 28th, laying here in the bed, River Angel's house. We were supposed to be paddling today, but I had a bad night last night, vomiting and diarrhea all night.
You know, when something like that happens to Greybeard, you're just worried that it might be over with, you know. I had heard that the gas station has great fried chicken. So he goes down there and he gets shrimp and a quart of ice cream. And then all of a sudden I feel bad for telling him to go to the gas station, you know. But I said the fried chicken was good.
It was a bad food poisoning, I'll tell you.
Fog this morning, and we don't have our leader, Matt. He's not feeling well. Might have some of the same stuff Dale had a few days ago. We don't know. We will adapt, improvise, and overcome.
I'll tell you, we don't see this shore, we're going to get disoriented very, very quickly. Real strange, paddling down the river, not being able to see ahead.
30 miles from our last lock and dam, the Melvin Price. We're going to paddle about 5 miles down at the confluence of the Missouri and Mississippi.
It's 11:15 and we started paddling a little bit before 6 this morning with no brakes, 0 brakes. His old body can't go 6 hours without a rest.
I had Dale up on a pedestal at an unrealistic level. He's a remarkable human being, but he is human. He's just like the rest of us. Actually, I think that's an important thing for people to know. We don't give ourselves enough credit. And we think, oh, I'm getting old, or I'm not smart enough. I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, you just got to get out there and try. You got to give it your best effort. And that's, I think, what Dale wants to do, is wants to inspire people to do more, because they can.
It's more difficult than I expected it to be. Last time I was blessed with being 7 years younger and high water, cooler temperatures, hardly no wind. All four of the above we had this time. Much, much more difficult this time than before.
When you're 87 years old, it's tough. The grind of it, day after day after day, wore on Dale. Eventually, I think it wore on all of us a little bit.
Ah, yeah. It's hard to hear out here, especially for me, Bubba.
There was a few communication conflicts. He wears hearing aids, but most of the time he doesn't hear anything you say unless he's looking directly at you. But he's really good at smiling and pretending he hears everything that you say. Like, we just went over this 10 minutes ago, man. 10 minutes ago, you stood there. Oh, I didn't hear anything you were saying. Nothing. I didn't hear a word of it.
Say what? I can't hear you now. If I had one wish, I would wish for better hearing aids. One of the most frustrating things that happened on that entire pilot was not being able to hear and carry on just a routine conversation with the team members. They didn't complain, but it must have been frustrating.
It's not a personality trait. It's a health issue. So it's not something you can stay upset with somebody about. You know, it's not his fault.
Last. No. How will it be after this? Fast. F-A-S-T. Fast. No more locks and no more dams to slow it down. Yee-hee. I can feel it going down. Look at water line. We now have unrestricted paddling. We can take off in the morning and go as far as we want to go without having to stop. Free flowing all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. I stayed in the Philippines for 11 years. I just sort of got away from my Kentucky family, and we just grew apart. The other side of the world, what's going on, just becomes negligible to you.
For many years, he was very remote. He did not communicate that much with the family. He just kind of became his own man and didn't need the family.
I was a backslider. I wasn't a good Christian there for 40 or 50 years.
Met Miriam and he got married to Miriam, and it was a long time before we ever even knew they was married and that Miriam existed, and then she had kids.
It was only after I married my wife Miriam and she started going back to church, and I started going back with her to church and all, that I learned that there was, in fact, more to it than I thought. I stopped being a happy-go-lucky, do what feels good person to one that was more sincere with people and showed my love to people and feelings and been doing good things. And it made me feel so much better to be that person than it was to be the old person.
You got this, buddy! 87 days and 87! Woohoo!
Hi, Dale. Congratulations on making it to home. You're like halfway home. past the most colorful communities where the sights and sounds captivate. We'd love to stay, but can't. Time moves on. The river moves on. From the Philippines, came back to Memphis in '89 and still here. And from 1965 and 2015, I raised a family and rarely participated in competition. It wasn't until after I retired that I started getting back into the adventures.
After lunch, we'll pack up and say goodbye to Todd.
You take it easy.
Thank you so much.
You get there. Get there.
After Todd left, we didn't have any more ground support. We were all on our own. We had to carry everything we needed. I'm going to have to really make some major changes in the way that I'm paddling if I'm going to make it to the Gulf of Mexico, and that is lighten up. It's just exactly what happened to me on the Appalachian Trail. I was carrying so much that had I continued, I would have never made it.
On another 40+ mile day today, 42. Need to make sure we all drink plenty of water. Gonna be another hot one today.
It's about halfway through, I started getting stomach problems. It was like hunger pain and cramps and some other dull pain all mixed up in one. I've never had it before in my life. I didn't know what it was. Many times I thought that could take me off of the river.
He seems like the Energizer Bunny, but there are times when he struggles. Matt kind of taught me is watch Dale when he doesn't know you're watching him. See how he's moving. Is he rubbing his shoulder?
He wants to be positive. He wants people to view him positively. When he's tired, he won't say he is. But then you realize, like, that's just Dale. That's who he is. He's not ever going to admit that he's hurting, that he's sick, that he's tired.
We got blown off, and then the rain started coming, so we're up here in the woods now with a tarp over it. Still smiling.
That can be annoying at times when you're tired, and you know he's tired. Everybody knows everybody's tired. And he's just smiling ear to ear. You know, he's like, hey, I'm feeling great. How y'all feeling? I mean, I can do another 5. I mean, I know we said we're gonna quit like here in a half a mile, but I can do another 5.
I mean, it rained like crazy last night. The way the boats looked the next morning, there was no ditch there last night when I put that boat there. Let's talk about the lower Mississippi River. The water level has more than doubled. And it's big, it's powerful, it's strong, it's boils, like my dad said. And it has whirlpools. That's a dangerous river. You gotta really be on your toes when you're in the lower river.
What everybody needed, one to take a couple of days off at Memphis. I knew where we needed to be mileage-wise to be here in Venice on time. It's like you gotta earn your days off. So if you want an off day, then you're gonna have to do above that amount until you build up excess mileage.
Memphis, that was a big goal. Psychological and emotional. You're not sure if you're gonna be able to make a schedule like that.
It was over 400 miles, and we pounded that out. We are 111 miles away from Memphis and our much-needed 00 there. It's going to be 45 miles today. Nothing else other than that. Let's go paddle. The lower river. That's a different landscape. It's vast. It makes you really realize how small you are. You may have the river does a lazy S-turn. It's 17 miles away, you know, so it gives you a lot of time to think.
And one of the most miserable days I've ever had in my life, hiking. Once in my life, I think I almost broke down mentally on the Appalachian Trail, to where I have to say I'm quitting. It was a really hard thing for me to accept. One foot slipped, and I went over into there by that dead tree, and it just broke it right off. Like that. The way I was hiking, I was trying to move my van along with me. My van had just stopped running again. I couldn't get it towed. I couldn't find a mechanic to work on it. So that's when I said, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I just said, it's just too much. This is it. I'm done. I couldn't get Miriam on the phone, so I started packing all my stuff up. She called me back.
He said, you know, like, I cannot make it. It's just, what are you doing? You cannot make it. You know, I said, you have to finish it. No, finish it. What are you talking about? I'm not even gonna answer that. I mean, I'm not even gonna entertain that. You just finish it, that's it.
I didn't quit, got back on the trail, and I was able to finish it because of Miriam.
Congratulations, Mr. Bell. Not quite 25 miles down to Mud Island in Memphis.
I don't know if I'm gonna take a bath today.
They gotta go past anyway.
I know it's hard sometimes and we have things happen, but that's just the nature of a beast of an expedition. That's just the way they are. In the final analysis, put all that crap aside and you look at the thing and you look at what you've done and you look at the people that helped you do it and you realize that this was a team. It was a team effort and it worked.
It is working great. Yeah.
I might be asked to say something over here at Memphis. I'd already been thinking about reflections and reflecting back on my life in the same environment that this log has been floating in. So what this log has experienced on this river and reflections of its journey is representative of what I would like to say over there to those folks. We made it, I think, from St. Louis to Memphis in record time because I wanted to get home. Then we had police escorts, the fire boats escorted us in, and there were sirens and the red lights and everything. Highly emotional time arrival in Memphis was. Welcome home. Well, I'm happy to be home.
Superhuman being. We printed his t-shirts.
We've got one lady, Kathy Woodward, who followed us one whole day at every boat ramp. She lives in Iowa, and then her and her husband are driving down.
Jump in the car and go to Memphis. We drove down.
I hope you make it. I know you're going to make it.
These Howard's donuts are the best in the world. Had a few little chores I had to do around the house. Too much.
Not now.
Okay. Oh, they want to throw it. Let's throw it away. It's nothing really significant, but it was nice to be home and nice to have family around. This is a little more comfortable. I am a river angel too. Some may stay 3 nights. Was to eat Miriam's food. I tend to extend their stay.
He let us stay in his home for the night, and he has this amazing wall, and it's got the signatures of like, oh my God, everyone that's ever paddled the Mississippi River.
While they're here, they have to sign my Paddler's Wall of Fame.
I got to sign it. It was so cool to be a part of their family for that day.
Paddler's Wall of Fame, I might as well sign that. Yeah.
The first time I didn't understand really what it was about. I had no idea who he was in the outdoor adventure world.
You know, she's the one that's gonna roll down the world. This is the guy that broke my record right here.
It was fun to look at all the people that have come down. I felt really good to have the honor of signing the wall. I really did.
Tons of names that are now well-known paddlers.
I got to add my name to all those other names on the wall. There's some pretty real legendary paddlers on that wall.
Got to sign the Wall of Fame and was pretty happy to be able to put my own name on there too.
Ellen the artist, some of the best artwork that I have on my wall.
So although I need to update it because I have some serious updates to make on the wall.
This guy's famous right here. This guy's pretty famous. He's an author. So there's a lot of signatures. Wow.
It's humbling to be with that, being allowed to be with that guy for a month and a half on the water.
Miriam!
Yeah, I know.
Meet an 87-year-old paddling the entire Mississippi River, hoping to break a new world record. This is CW30 News right now at 9.
They created a new award, the Dale Sanders Perseverance Award. I went down this past spring, Lookout Wild Film Festival, and gave the second one out to Nimblewell Nomad for breaking my Appalachian Trail age record.
We got to put this in our bag.
We like to be praised. I might have been just a little bit more in tune to liking it because I've been bullied so much.
I understand why he's doing it. He's trying to leave a legacy for his grandkids and their grandkids.
That I can pass on to my grandchildren, who can pass that on to their children's children, and so on like that. It's the centuries to come. It could very well be that sometimes down in the years to come, they'll say that was my great-great-great-dad that did that. Looks like Quapaw Canoe Company joined us today, and oh my gracious alive, I think they might have a surprise for us down here, and I bet it's food. Oh, it makes me cry. Oh my goodness, oh Lord, I cannot believe this. I'm washing my dish good for this food tonight. I'll tell you right now, just look on that table over there, would you? Woo, woo.
Thought y'all would enjoy some fresh fruit and veggies. So we brought the cricket canoe and a cooler full of goodies, and just an honor to be here, help celebrate this historic event.
We're honored, we are so honored that you joined us. Day 70.
And we've reached our last state, Louisiana. Then it started raining.
Ready to load the boats, but with this rain, there's just no way to do that.
One day,
It's crazy outside.
and the next day,
We got caught in the rain.
and the next day.
Well, I guess you can see the cloud ahead. Doesn't look good. You know what? I'm in the cockpit of the boat now. Stay here until it goes wet, yes.
Close, start to mold, mildew, everything starts to stink.
We got wet last night again. My food even got wet. So I got it all spread out here. See what I can salvage, most of it.
I'm not going anywhere. Anytime for probably 2 hours or more. I'm not paddling in that. Done with that for the day.
Heat index, I think, is like 108 today. When you have to have shade, it doesn't matter what the shoreline is, you're gonna find a way to get out. And we're gonna stay here on this island. This is a big island. And I got my spot already marked out right here. Dale, D-A-L-E, whoop, whoop.
Lots of love being shown on the river the last few days.
And listen, folks, the best river angel we've had on the river, and I hope I don't get emotional saying this, but you're looking at him right here.
I mean, this guy
I'm just
stayed here, and he's done this so many times, and watched our boats overnight while we're going out and eating and sleeping in beds. Matt, you're worth your weight in gold. Thank God for you.
Thank you, Dale.
Matt Taylor's over here taking a nap, and Matt Briggs is down there taking a nap. I must have worked him too hard today.
The sandbars in the wilderness are quickly going to come to an end in the next few days, and then we'll have urban area and New Orleans, and then it'll all be over with. We'll be at South Pass Island. Whoopee!
AJ4A. I stayed in his house in 2015 when I went through.
When I first started, they didn't even have the term River Angel. Dale I've been knowing for 7 years, and awesome to see him again. And to see he still has the energy of a young man. I mean, it's incredible.
Try this. Southern sweet tea. Roast beef, poor boy. How do you like them? It's good and sloppy.
My great uncles originated the po' boy sandwich here in New Orleans in the 1920s. So a po' boy sandwich is very special to me.
You know, once you guys start carrying your stuff.
This world is a really good place, despite all the bad stuff we hear about it. Being deployed, I saw the worst side of humanity, unfortunately. Meeting the River Angels, meeting all the good people along the way. There was always people trying to help us out no matter where we went. 2 guys went out of their way to cook for us one morning, paddled their boat out with us, attempted to keep pace, got swamped that night trying to land, and still made something of it that night.
I got a couple of River Angels with us this morning, River Angels and Paddlers, David and Matt. David's going to share a little bit of his spoken word poetry with us this morning. So I'll turn
Morning, everybody. So what do y'all know about light? So I personally had a lot of time to think about this after Hurricane Katrina, living in a shelter with 1,500 people. Who would have thunk it? So I think a light so bright has no eclipse, no shadow, with a beautiful soul projecting from within, casting a reflection upon the world. But who knows what light is? Light's anybody that tries. Try. Test yourself. Get out on the river.
Below Baton Rouge, everything starts becoming marshy. You get into the Bird's Foot Delta, where it breaks into all these little channels.
Venice itself is at the end of the road, literally at the end of the road. There is not even a walking path past Venice. It's a magical place.
Some of my greatest fishing memories of my entire life, some of my greatest memories with my dad, I've shared right down here where we're gonna finish up at. Spiritually, emotionally, it's like a really powerful place for me.
Made it to Venice yesterday. What a wonderful day of rest. It was a hard paddle, but we made it.
Never thought I'd be here. We're 23 miles from the end of it. We've done 2,300 miles, or over 2,300 miles at this point. Never my wildest dreams did I think I'd be here.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, had to give credit to Matt on that one. He's the one that came up with the idea.
Oh, Maria! That was probably one of the happiest moments I had the whole trip. Hey, James, come here. What do you think is the reason why I do these long adventures?
Because you can?
Huh?
Because you can? You got something to prove? Why do you do it?
I'm asking you, what do you think is the reason?
I think because you have pent up energy, you got to burn it somehow. I feel like that sometimes too.
I feel fantastic. Physically and mentally, my tank is full. What I'm doing today is I'm going to be spending the day in Venice, just walking around alone and just taking turns, hitchhiking if I need be between things, and just letting the whole atmosphere sink in. It's got a huge marina there. My most favorite places in the world is a marina. I've always wanted to live on a sailboat, always. I can just sit at the marina all day and just watch the boats coming and going and be perfectly happy. Just meditating, thinking about past and the present and the future. A lot of relaxation and ready for that big day paddling that last 22 miles. The final stretch again becomes destiny. At the end, my family and friends would join me one last time in celebration. The river opens to a wide expanse of the unknown. What a beautiful ride. Well, this is the most important day of this trip, day 87, and I'm 87 years old, and we are right here just about a mile north of Venice.
Probably one of the busiest places on the entire river here, the jump as they call it. 67 is your general traffic. You're on a marine radio. Other than that, let's have a good, safe paddle.
All right. Okay, let's go around. We had arranged it where we had 2 boats taking 30 people down to South Pass Island where we're going to finish in saltwater. In the morning, that last day was beautiful until the rains came.
If the paddlers can get wet, we can get wet.
Having my wife and entire family there, that's the way you put the icing on the cake. It's emotional. I just broke down and cried a little bit. I really did. I think when I laid down and kissed the sand,
Salty!
that was the moment I knew that it was over. The record had been broken.
Way to go, man.
My wonderful sisters.
So proud of you.
It's almost beyond being able to explain it. Nothing else mattered in the whole world but that moment, and it's just a euphoric experience.
Good day, man.
The team that started is the team that finished. That is a big deal.
I've been to combat with guys who I didn't feel as close with as these guys. I've only known these guys for a little over a month and a half. I never felt more secure in my life.
You're gonna lose your
I
bottle.
think I did promise my team that if they would help me get to the salt water by the 8th of September in 87 days, that I would do something. And do a little bit of that Rod Wellington Mississippi River, Appalachian Trail, Florida National Scenic Trail.
And we'll do it again at the Gulf of Mexico. Woo!
And that's it for this river. What draws a man to give up the daily comforts of life, leave behind loved ones, and spend months in the woods and on the water? If I've learned any lessons in my short life, it's to trust the forward momentum. For if I ever stop, it will likely stop too. I got 87 reasons to keep going. Soon 88, 89, and 90 reasons. I can't believe it, but with that hotel we were staying at, the road coming into it doubles as an airstrip, and we had 7 airplanes that flew people in, and the pilots themselves came in for the celebration. We had the most fabulous crab and shrimp feed that anyone could ever imagine.
Oh my God, that's super fresh. That's so good.
Made it.
Stan, sorry man, but I just had to go back and get that record back.
Well, it kind of makes me feel like maybe I need to get back on a river.
You can get it again when you get old enough.
I'm very, very proud of Dale. However, he needs to be prepared because, Dale, listen to me good, buddy. I'm going to go after your record 4 years from now.
10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, that's enough.
Yeah.
And if you want it back, let me see, you'll be 91 years old, so you better stay in good health if you're going to beat me after I beat you in 4 years from now.
He draws you in real easy. You know, it's kind of like everyone wants to believe in Santa Claus. Like Dale is like another version of that. You know, he represents something that is certainly not the norm. And he holds your imagination and this idea of what Greybeard encapsulates, I should say, rather than Dale.
He's magic. People show up and just want to try to see him or meet him. I want to be just like Greybeard. I want to be a friend of everybody.
He is full of life. So many people who get older give up on their dreams. He's outside of his comfort zone. He's not in a rocker in an old folks home watching TV. He's out there in an environment where anything could really happen.
You can't say Dale Sanders without saying he's unbelievable.
The guy's amazing. He is an amazing human being.
He's the perfect patient from a cardiac standpoint. I thought I was acting so man young.
As soon as I step over that line, I'm gonna be over halfway through the Appalachian Trail.
He's the man, baby. He's got a nickname, Greybeard. What's gray about him? I never saw it other than the color of the beard because he has the spirit of a 16-year-old. And that's what he represents: peace, kindness, strength, honesty, joy, fun, laughter, because he loves to do it up. Like a little choo-choo, but he keeps on chugga-chugga-chugga-chugga choo-choo.
There's three things that I think I do that keep me going physically. You gotta find out, number one, how to live happy. And there's no one that can tell you how to do that. You gotta figure that out on your own. That's not enough by itself. You have to stay active or do something in nature. That's really, really, really important, stay active. And then, of course, there's one other thing now. If you really want to be happy, you want to put the icing on the cake, find a good quality spiritual life and live it, and that has the potential for really giving you true happiness. I'm telling you, true happiness. One of these days, I'm going to get old.
God willing, and the creeks don't rise, I'll keep doing them till I'm 100.